Alright, so this is the new edition of Fire in the Sky. I've been playing it for a little bit here. I played the MMP version, I think, last winter, last fall. This is what the cover looked like from the MMP version. And I really like just the simple look, the clean, simple look of the original game cover. This was just really evocative. And it's really interesting because the cover is the most subdued thing about the art with this game as a whole. The map was pretty bold. A lot of bold art choices in the original game. And I thought I'd show you the differences here in this video. So what I got here is the original MMP counters, and I'll just take this off to show you the thickness of the counter. These are, I think, 1-inch counters. Versus what we have here. It's pretty close, but these do feel slightly thicker, and these, as you can see from the glare, have a linen finish to them. The pieces are all square with the MMP version. With the Phalanx edition, the new version, the pieces, the art's a little bit more subdued, and the pieces are round for ground, hexagonal for air, and then they are square for the ships. Let's see here, like here. Here's the ship counters, the MMP versus the new. So as you can see here, the artwork for the planes on the full strength side, it's pretty cool artwork. Flip it over, and it's usually a single engine aircraft on the reverse side, a multi-engine air platform on the front side. The new versions are just a simple number. That's it. The number of airplane silhouettes is its strength. The number up here is actually its transport rating. That's something that was absent from the air and the ground counters in the MMP edition. In the Phalanx edition, this number in the black stripe is consistent whether it's a naval piece, an air piece, or a ground piece. You can see it's something that's consistent across the game. So you can see here on the regiments, the reverse side, you'll see here's the parenthetical value. So not a whole lot of change in terms of ground units other than the shape of the piece. Air units, a little bit more of a change, and there is, I think, a little bit of a flaw with the Phalanx edition. I think I'll show you here. Try to get this to focus. All right, so this is the reverse side. I'm going to flip it over. Ah, what the heck? It's off by exactly 60 degrees, and it's a little annoying, okay? It's just like the OCD in me just really finds that a little irritating. It's a mistake on the part of the layout team. So you do have that little flaw to contend with. Now, the Japanese pieces, again, you have the same sort of deal. Nothing really new to look at there. Well, let's look at some naval pieces, though. Let me bring these over so you can see it better, and I don't have to lean so far over the table. This is the Battleship Yamato Musashi Battleship Division. Same exact game piece in the new edition. You can see this is its import side. There's the cherry blossom background. Not, some people didn't really know what to make of that. That's the whole samurai thing going on there. You have the icon of the anchor showing that it's in port. The numbers down here on the left is its gunnery rating, and then you have its anti-aircraft rating. That's the 3. The 12 is its defense rating, and then the 6 is its movement rating. So great big counter, fairly small numbers on it though. Okay, and then this was its transportation rating. Now, something they did in the Phalanx edition I haven't showed you yet, I don't think, is they doubled the number of spaces here on the track. Everything basically costs twice as much as it used to, but you get twice as much income as you used to. The effect of this is that you no longer have fractionated oil points. So you can't end up with, having to rotate this counter to show that you have a quarter of an oil point or 3/4 of an oil point or half an oil point. They got rid of that by simply doubling the cost of everything and the income of everything. And so that's why it has a transport rating of 3 on the MMP version, but now it's 6. Now, this is its status when it's in port. When it goes operational and it's on an operation, now the artwork becomes a little bit more bold. You see the rising sun flag, the silhouette really pops out at you. That signifies there's an operation going on and this guy is active. The MMP version you have kind of the same sort of effect. There's the rising sun, but the silhouette seems like it jumps out at you more. The numbers are still pretty small, and there's no icons to show what they are. So you have to remember what number is going to be what. Whereas on the Phalanx edition, there's icons to show you that, there's your anti-aircraft rating, there's your gunnery rating, there's your movement rating, and there is your defensive rating. And so it's a little bit more intuitive, and the numbers, the font is a little bit bigger. So that's what the Japanese pieces look like. Now let me show you the differences with the Americans. So you see the Americans have this eagle. Look, it's a cool counter. I like the MMP artwork. It was cool. So this is a carrier. The import American ships are really grayed out. You can't even hardly see the silhouette. So that's kind of a bummer for me on the American pieces. Flip them over, and it jumps out better. I mean, granted, this is the side. There was no silhouette on the back side of the original pieces here. So when you flip it over, you do see the silhouette. You do see the aircraft rating, which is the number of aircraft silhouettes. It's no longer a number in the middle of the counter like you see here. And so that's the difference, if you will. Now, I didn't pull out a British one, but the British, it's kind of the same story. Their pieces basically are going to have the same kind of presentation. Now, having it on this map here does allow you to see what it would look like if you were to play the Phalanx map with the multi-man publishing pieces. I think it'd still look really cool. You could totally do that. You just have to remember, you'd have to either fractionate the oil points or something, or you'd have to remember to double the transport costs on everything. That's the only adjustment I think you'd have to make. One more thing I should show you about the counters before I show you the map difference, and that is how when you orient your pieces to show that they're giving long-range aircraft support, it's really cool when you lay out the markers like this. It just really pops on the map better, I think, than taking these pieces and just straddling it like so. I don't know, there's a certain coolness about this that is growing on me, even though I miss the cool silhouette that they used to have. So that is the artwork on the game counters. Obviously, you can see the map here. Someone asked, is the map gray? Not really. It's kind of an ocean water. There's not a lot of color saturation on it. It is more gray than not gray, but there is color to it. So the lighting in my room might be giving an effect that's unfortunate, but to me, it's evocative of ocean. And so that's what the map looks like now here. I'll show you that on the Phalanx map, you have square space in the base. And then you have a number inside a round circle. That's how many round pieces that you can put there, or strength points worth of round pieces that can safely stack there. The number in the square that's how many square pieces can fit there. So you can have 2 ships, 4 round counter strength points, and up to 2 steps of aircraft. That's the hexagonal pieces. So that really helps you to gauge stacking at a glance. There are a few spaces that will have unlimited. There's the infinite symbol there. Truck. I think the home bases of Kuri and Yokosuka, an infinite number of square counters can go there. But for the rest of it, it's number of hexagonal pieces, round strength points, and number of ships. That makes it really, really easy to play. Only thing that might be a little harder to see in this than the original is land connections are just a squiggly line straddling 2 hex sides. So there's one here, there's one here. There's only a few on the game, and then up the Malay Peninsula and up into India. So there's only a few in the game. To me, that's not a big deal at all. I mean, I saw it right away. I know what it is. But it's not quite, it doesn't jump out at you as much as in the MMP map. So with that said, now I'm going to lay the MMP map out on top of this and hopefully not mess up the game that I have going on right now. All right, you remember that really subdued cover artwork? Well, the map's a little flashy. So this is what the MMP map looked like, and there's players that just didn't like it. I mean, it's kind of meant to, I think, look like a satellite map of the Pacific. You know, you kind of have your weather fronts and everything. The bases are, they have like historic photos and stuff in them, and the flag showing the original controller is in it. I thought it was perfectly functional. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't like, oh, it's such a cool map. Some players found it to be a little loud and obnoxious, and especially with the colorful counter, very bold counter artwork, especially, you know, with the cherry blossoms, the American eagle, the British lion on it. It is pretty bold choices. So you can see the difference is, you know, between the other. The other is much more subdued, and so the counters really pop out at you. This one here, the counters kind of can get lost in all of the noise. So stacking, in order to determine stacking for ground units, you had to pay attention to the color of the box in the base. So white means 8 strength points. Green meant a maximum of 4. In the new one, there's numbers on the sides of the space to show you. And then here, you had to remember, let's see, I think this is number of air points, number of naval points, I believe. So 2 air strength, 1 naval. Now I can see off the bat, I think they have made adjustments to some of these bases because I think the numbers look a little different. Yeah, numbers look a little different. I think they've made a few tweaks to some of the base numbers because at Ellis Island, I'm pretty sure you can put 2 ships there now, 2 in Guadalcanal, and so forth. And I'm pretty sure 2 at Espiritu Santo. So that's, you know, some of the differences. There's minor tweaks to the game. Bottom line is this: if you own this particular edition, should you get Fire in the Sky from Phalanx Games? Well, if you're happy with this, why spend the money? The game has not materially changed. There's only been some minor tweaks to adjust for play balance. There's a couple more scenarios that weren't there before. And, you know, like I said, they increased the numeric track to have 60 spaces, and then they got rid of fractionated oil points, which is, I think, it improves gameplay overall. The new edition does feel deluxe. It is a mounted map board, and everything looks really cool on it. And then if you have the MMP version and you really like those counters, you can still use it on the other game. You just have to mentally make a few adjustments. So there is the difference between Fire in the Sky version 1 and the new version, version 2. Actually, I think there was a Japanese edition before this. So this is actually version 2, 3. So there you go. I'm Joel Tappan, and this is Fire in the Sky.